Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Play On. My name is Candace Barrett.
I'm Rob Mackay.
And Piercy is feeling unwell. And I'm also sound a bit croaky, so FYI, I have my little tea, hoping that I'll improve throughout the pod. So maybe I heal Rob more.
Yes, you're going to hear lots of me and Candace doing her best Marlanda Dietrich impression. So
Hello.
husky.
Yes.
It's a thing. What's
It
a thing?
reminds me of like from Friends when Phoebe gets like a cold and she sings really well because she's really bad at singing. So she gets this husky singing voice. Anyway, what do you have this weekend? I have an exciting, there's the Super Women's Day this weekend for anyone involved here in Sydney, which is really exciting. But what are you going to do, Rob?
So it's Test match week in Sydney.
Oh my God, yes.
So massive build up to the first of the tests in Sydney or in Australia, which happens to be in Sydney. So the rugby week this week is full. I blocked out my
14
afternoons.
hours?
Yeah, well,
rugby if you want to.
And then some. And I've blocked out my afternoon. So I'm doing an early morning Colts game in Western Sydney for my sins. But I'm really excited about the Women's Day at Willara. So wall-to-wall women's rugby, the Chikarovsky Cup on display. We might even get Chika there in person, Kerry Chikarovsky, after whom it's named. From what I can see, an all-female match official team as well, Candace. So
yep, involved.
That's very exciting. So celebrating all that is good and great about our women's game, which is also growing. So I think it's a great initiative. Really excited by that.
Yeah, no, I'm excited too. And even like we have Ella Goldsmith coming down, Rachel Horton. So I think there's some really exciting, women who are out there on the circuit being able to give back and really sort of have a big build up for that weekend. And then after we can then watch some more rugby. So it's perfect.
Yeah, exactly. And having the world-class match officials like Rach and Ella there, that's both friends of the pod. That's fantastic. So yeah, that'll be a good day and a good night, I would imagine.
That's why I want to try to get better so I can make
absolutely.
it through.
There is a lot happening, isn't there? So speaking of Ella, she was on a panel last night with 3 of the incoming match officials for the coming test.
Yeah. It's called Behind the Whistle. So if anyone in future, when we do have these tests, we tend to host a little discussion panel. I unfortunately couldn't go. Luckily, Rob was able to go. So yeah, that's the exciting bit. You get to mingle, have some drinks, food, and then ask your questions to the test referees, which is great.
Yeah. So we had Carl Dixon, Matteo Liparini, and Andrea Piatti, along with Ella Goldsmith. So that was our panel. And it's put on by the New South Wales Rugby Referees Association and the Rugby Club Foundation. So, a really good, strong partnership there. It was hosted at Waverley College. And the insights that match officials at that level can give everyone in the game are worth sharing. So it was a really good evening for everyone who made it. So, yes, great fun.
You got my question in. Yay!
Yes, I got one of your questions in, so that triggered a really good chat around mental preparation and in-game resets. So that was really good, Candace.
Yay.
So we had a good chat about that. So yeah, it was a really good night, and it's part of the lead in. The week just gets bigger and bigger. So there's rugby stuff on every night leading into the test for me. So we've got an education night followed by a Wallabies
it's about lineouts,
night,
which is really exciting. I love the little lineouts
one.
Yeah, perfect.
Correct. So, and why are we getting excited about the weekend? Well, this weekend kicks off the Nations Championship and the Nations Cup.
Woo! This is
the
so
Nations
exciting.
Championship is it's framed as North versus South.
That's
Japan,
what I've always. Yeah.
Japan has somehow found itself in the South, but we won't go there. So there's a couple of little anomalies, but it's essentially, I'm going to say the top 12, 6 from the North, 6 from the South. And then you've got the Nations Cup, which is for Rugby World Cup qualified nations outside the Nations Championship. So that's another tier of 12. So there's tests happening there as well, and you'll see that when we talk about appointments. So
it's
that
nonstop.
alone is a massive rugby weekend. Then you've got the aforementioned Community Rugby Women's Day. You've got Shield, all the grades below that. You've also got the under-20s in Georgia. So, and
Yes,
then,
I've been on and off watching it. It's really good, guys. If anyone
yeah,
wants to just throw
yeah.
it on, it just makes it so exciting on what's going to happen in like 5 years' time, when that age group and so on. Just like
Well,
to see
yeah,
how they develop.
by way of illustration, in 2019, the final in this tournament was between Australia and France.
Mhm.
And most of the guys who were playing for the Australian team then are now playing in the test team
Yeah.
or have played in the test team. There's only 2 or 3 names that you wouldn't recognise. All the rest are still around somewhere. So, and same with France. And you're seeing those players come through. So it's a window into the future. I remember when a very young Andrew Kellaway was the leading try scorer in the history of the tournament because he was so good. I think he played in it 3
Wow.
times, but he was also a prolific try scorer. So
So yeah, good for
yeah,
scouting, one might say. There you
yeah,
go.
there are lots of scouts there. Not all from rugby, I might add. And speaking of which, segue Sam, at the same time, because there's not enough rugby on, the Australian schools and junior rugby champs kick off in the next few days as well.
So I
So,
can see Sunshine Coast in
yep,
July.
in the sunny coast from the 5th to the 10th. So it starts with 7s on the 5th and 6th, and then you got the 15s from the
Oh
7th to
wow,
the 10th.
sevens.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And yeah,
So,
under 16 and under 18s as well,
yep,
which is great because especially with the girls programming and stuff, they're putting a lot more emphasis on that sort of age group. So really good
yeah.
opportunity for those match officials being involved.
Yeah, boys and girls. So that is a big tournament as well. I've been in and around those over the years, and they're just a wonderful festival of footy because
Yeah.
everyone's there for the right reasons.
Festival of Footy.
Generally,
Love that.
yeah, festival of footy. So, and look, the final general rugby news is
True.
it's 15 months until Rugby World Cup. So
Yay! I'm so
the
excited.
yeah, I'm very
All
excited.
the money is going to be.
Oh, look,
I
it's
was trying to think. I was like, oh, I have a friend's wedding next year. I was like, oh, I really need to also save money for the World Cup.
Your friend should be getting married somewhere near a rugby game.
I
If they're a true
know.
friend, no pressure.
Yeah, right?
So, as part of that ramp up, the volunteer expressions of interest are now open as well. So, that's a great way to get involved in the tournament. So,
That's
I was a
sick.
volunteer at the Sydney 2000 Olympics, and I've got to tell you, that was one of the most rewarding experiences I've ever had. So, I would
Do
encourage
you get some sweet
anyone.
stash? I feel like I would be in it for the stash.
You get some gear, absolutely. And obviously, by the nature of the role,
Oh,
you're a volunteer, but
hat,
you,
bag.
you get money can't buy stuff, and as the term describes, money can't buy it. So you're in
Oh,
you're in a special circle. The volunteer program at the Olympics was phenomenal. I was involved in that in the 4-year lead up all the way through, and just seeing that grow from just a few people to what became 10,000 volunteers was just
damn.
nuts. And we've still got the uniform. We've kept our
That's what I mean.
uniforms.
Like, yeah, it's
Yeah,
so cool.
20 odd years on. I mean, they're not the sort of thing you wear out on a Friday night unless you're going to a theme party, right? But
Yeah, go for it. Volunteer. We had
yeah.
that in Bermuda when Bermuda was hosting the America's Cup, if anyone likes their sailing.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and yeah, I was involved in it because I was still in London at the time, but my whole family were volunteers. So I think my mom ran the gift shop or something, so she got lots of good gear.
Yeah, I bet she did.
And
Yeah.
then my brother worked on something else. I think it was like the France marketing team and volunteered for something with that. So yeah, there's loads of good opportunities, guys, out there. So put your expression of interest in.
So yeah, get into it.
Shall we move on to some match official rugby news?
There's a lot happening in the match official space. My goodness. All right.
I
So
almost forgot about WXB. I knew it existed. I just couldn't remember where it slots in the calendar.
Candace, soap and water.
I
Wash your mouth
mean,
out.
I know it happens. I just forget when it happens. The
So
diary's so crazy.
yeah, I know, right? Because there's not enough footy. So WXV appointments are coming out shortly. So that's a sign that the tournament's not that far off. So watch this space. That's all I can say at the moment. But it's fair to
Do you
say
remember
the
where
match
it
officials
is?
know.
Because it was in 3 different locations. Because there's the 3 different tiers, right?
Format's
Or
changed a little bit.
Okay.
So, yeah, we'll talk about that when it comes
When it
out.
comes
But
out, yeah.
so it's not 1, 2, and 3 anymore. It's just WXV with,
Moving
yeah.
parts.
So moving parts. So that's coming. So keep your eyes open for that. That will be exciting. And there's some cracking matches coming up. My goodness.
Yay!
Oh, some absolute doozies. So the match officials are going to have fun with that. So looking forward to that. More match official news. Rugby Australia has released an updated Match Official Abuse Directive. Sad
Okay.
that it has to happen, but it
Oh,
does
yeah.
have to happen. And this is part of building a foundation for dealing with match official abuse and
Mhm.
sends a very clear message about
Yeah.
the zero tolerance approach for abuse, which is the way it should be. There are stronger sanctions. Look, at the end of the day, if you get your
And is
culture
this
right,
about, because we have this in New South Wales about, like, what's happening in the enclosure? Is this also abuse in do they specify, like, online abuse, or if it's spectators, or if it's, like we said,
yeah,
in the enclosure? Like, I feel like that would be something to get a better idea of.
it's part of the package, right? So
Mm,
this captures everything else that isn't captured in the play enclosure in simple terms.
'kay.
So
Yeah.
and it again provides a framework which can be used for sanctioning, etc. So it's out there. It's a very clear message to everyone. We're not
Yeah.
going to tolerate it. It's a directive signed by the CEO of Rugby Australia, Phil Waugh. Like at the end of the day, if you get your culture right, you don't need this document.
Yeah.
And that's the challenge to everyone in the game. Get your culture right
Get
and
your culture right.
behave.
Also, like, club culture as well is really
Yeah.
important.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, I get that.
And at the end of the day, it comes back to, believe it or not, the law book. And match official
We
abuse
love our laws.
includes, we love our laws, includes any behaviour directed towards a match official that violates rugby's core values of discipline, respect, integrity, passion, and teamwork. And that's the spirit of the game.
Yeah,
So,
I
yeah.
like
And
that.
that,
Remind
yep.
them about the spirit of the game if they get a bit all testy and worked up, some of
Well,
the people.
I'm actually quoting that in my post-match speeches now. I talk
Is
about the
it?
spirit of the game. Yeah. And I say, we talk about the spirit of the game. What a lot of people don't know, it's in the law book. So
Oh,
don't forget that.
I like that, Rob.
Thank you, Candace. I
And
think
it's
that's important.
effective as of July
First of
1st. Is that
first of
correct?
July. Yeah. So it's that time of year, 1st of July, all sorts of stuff happens. Things
Yes, even in
change.
the Australian government, as I was alluding to Rob before.
Yes, off air, we're
Anyone
talking
on
about that.
visas, everything changes. But in
Yeah.
the financial year, World Rugby change it's updated stuff. It's that midpoint basically through
As
the
Bill
year.
Laurie used to say, it's all happening. There has been a little bit of footy played as well. As I said, the under-20s is on, and we've had the first round of matches. The second round of matches are today. We're recording on a Thursday, so they kick off later tonight, and we'll see those appointments later.
We had the PWR final as well. We spoke about
Mm.
Hollywood last week. I wanted to mention Keith Lewis has done a great podcast with Hollywood. So if you want to listen about her background, yeah, give it a listen. It's really interesting. Her family comes from a military background, all really sporty people. So it just, to me, makes so much sense why it was so natural for her to be so sporty all the way through before she became a referee. And yeah, congrats to her on the finals.
It's a really good listen, and it gives a great insight into how we manage and help and support female match officials, or in some cases don't. So there's certainly plenty of
Yeah.
milestones there for everyone to be aware of and do better, really.
Yeah, if anyone's interested, yeah, she alludes to, like, obviously how she got into refereeing, but also what she gave to the RFU in terms of their policies around
Yeah.
people that are pregnant, postpartum, and like how to return back to refereeing as well. So there's some really interesting discussion points like within that. So yeah,
Yeah. Get your ears around it. Did you want to talk about anything in the PWR? Or?
just quickly, it was Saracens versus Ealing Trailfinders. So Saracens won quite easily. There was a few interesting things about deliberate knockdowns. About 39 minutes in, there was a deliberate knockdown. Holly gave that yellow card. I think it would have been interesting to see like a wider view from like someone who was watching it, like rewatching it. I didn't know if you'd like put the camera further out. Would have that been a try opportunity? Because literally a minute later, after that yellow card was given, there was another possible deliberate knockdown. So I feel like Saracens clearly are waving their arms around in the in the try close to the goal line. But yeah, those are the two main things I saw. I felt sorry for the trail finders, but Saracens just had so many quick, well-experienced players who are all red roses, so made it very difficult for some people to defend them. But no, congrats on Hollywood for doing that and Saracens for winning. But yeah, that was a good match. But if anyone wants to look at some of those ones, it was in the first half in particular.
Okay, very good. So congratulations to Saris. They've got another trophy for the cabinet because they're short of trophies.
They also have a lot of Canadian players, so props to us.
Is Sophie play for them? I think she does, doesn't she? Yeah, okay.
She does.
Okay, I understand it.
And our famous, we have a few Sevens players on. Yeah, we have a bunch of Canadian players actually on the Saracens team.
Okay, I understand your excitement now. I forgive you. There are a couple of interesting things that came out of the under-20s. I watched the Australia-Spanish game, which was a bit of a cricket score, over 100 points scored.
Oh!
There was an interesting match official interaction about 37 minutes in. The team made a call for a neck roll, I think it was, and then he spent about 3 minutes trying to bring up the footage, and he couldn't find the footage. So,
oh no!
So they went back for a restart, and I'm sure the restart was different to what they were going to do had he not intervened. So it was a little bit clunky.
At least they got a bit of a rest. The forwards must be happy.
The weather was quite funny. We'll come to that in a minute. But the Australian kicker, Finn Mackay, who played 10, had a cracking game. He was kicking them from everywhere. I think he had 20-odd points. But he's got this really funny run-up for his conversions. He starts, and then he almost stops to have a quick look and then goes again. I'm looking at that going, I wrote down, I reckon, first or second kick. Oh, man, if he doesn't get charged down, I'll be very surprised. Sure enough, later in the game, he got charged down. He just looked at the referee, and the referee went, "Meh, you started." So I think he's going to have to work on that.
Well done on the opposition for just eyeing up how he does his kick and then timing the run.
Well, that's right. And they didn't give up. They obviously spotted it. And even though they were behind by about 60 at this point, they didn't give up. And I really like that. That shows
I love that.
Fortitude. Yeah.
Shows that you're still switched on no matter what the scoreline timing is.
Yeah. And the other thing that came out of it for me was there's a couple of French-based players that the Australians have picked, which is a first. And they're both front rowers, and they both seem to struggle with tackle height, which I thought was really interesting because remember, this is a closed law trial for sternum. On the basis that most of the kids coming through, they're now adults, well, most of them are now used to that. But these guys have been playing in the pros in France, so they're coming back from here down to here.
Yeah.
There's a couple of other players who are doing the same too. We've got a couple of the backs in the Aussie team who've played some super. But, they clearly struggled. They didn't take anyone's head off, but they were definitely above sternum. So, a little bit of a challenge for them.
Yeah, it's interesting with those ones, like just trying to manage it as well as a referee, because you're obviously adapting to it, and you have to set that tone early and making sure that safety is number one for those type of things. And even I don't know, even within the tournament, would you have to remind them in briefings, or everyone knows it, so you just have to set it up early?
Look, everyone knows it. It will have been banged into them because there'll be some alignment discussions with the match officials, the coaches, the players. If they are on the field and they claim they don't know it's a sternum height, they shouldn't be there at this level of the game. We're at the elite level of the game, essentially. We've got professional coaches, we've got elite match officials. So it would be taken as read because they would know.
Yeah, mind to body, that needs to be linking.
Yeah, you got to set your standards, and that can be tricky when the pressure's continually transferred onto the referee because they keep going high. So then you've got to use all the tools in your toolbox. How do I get them to change behaviour?
Yeah.
And there's lots of ways you can do that, and that's part of the joys and travails of being a match official, accepting challenges like that and rising to them and getting an outcome. And sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't. So just deal with what's in front of you, as the saying goes.
Trends and talking points. This is the big one.
This is the meat and potatoes. Yes. So, my goodness, there is so much happening in this space. It's all very nuanced, some of it's not, but bear with us because it's important.
Yes.
All right, so I'll caveat this by saying some of this will apply immediately and some of it will not, depending on where you are. So, firstly, 4 of the global law trials have moved into full law. Okay, so essentially there's no practical change in the game. It's just how the laws are codified. So,
Codified.
yes. So they've gone from global law trials to full law.
Okay.
And we've got 4 of those. So the breakfoot in the scrum engagement process, that's
Oh, yes,
now.
that's been around forever.
It
feels
has,
like.
but it's always been
I
as a
remember being in
trial.
London and it being
Yeah.
announced. Wayne
Yep.
Barnes stood on a table in London showing us what to do. I was like, what is happening?
Did he have a red wine in his hand when he was doing that?
Get a
Oh,
mic.
that was a different night. Okay. Limits on water carries and elite rugby. They're only allowed at tries and lengthy stoppages. So that's a good thing.
Yep.
And you can only have
Yep.
2. And the T carrier's got to be one of them. So you can't have 3.
Okay.
That's just housekeeping. And this is one that will surprise a lot of people. The role of the TMO as a match official is now in full law. That's been a trial forever. So that's now locked in. So no change in the process or how it's
Locked
used. It's
in.
just, again, formalising its inclusion. And then
I like
the 20-minute.
I feel like they deserve to be
Yeah.
included.
Yeah, that's right.
Seems like
Yeah.
such a silly thing to say, but they've been around. And
Yes, they've gone from a tourist visa to full citizenship, put it that way.
yes, love it.
But they're still here. And then you got 20-minute red card replacement in elite rugby. So national bodies competitions have an option to use that if they so choose. So
they can. I quite like how they can, I guess, choose it depending on, because I still feel like people have their different views. So maybe depending on what the tournament is like and how it's set up, it's a good idea to have that option. So
yeah, that's right. So then there's a whole raft of clarity changes, and these are going to come out in the apps pretty much straight away. So if you're looking up your laws in the app,
refresh,
they'll be there. If you're running off the hard copy from the start of the year, they won't be. So you're going to have a little bit of disconnect there because it's driven out of the north there between seasons. So it's not such a big deal. For the test matches, they will be enforced in the test matches. So that's worth knowing. And most of this you won't see, but some of it might come up.
Yeah.
For us in community here, we're in mid-comp. So my understanding is RA is not going to do any clarification around this until next year. I mean, that might change, say, Super Rugby Oz, which starts in, I'll say September, well and truly after this window. That may use them, but we'll hear about that in due course. So
yeah, that would put a spanner in the works if they're just like, okay, by the way.
Yeah, that's right. So some of these, again, will be invisible because we're sort of doing it anyway. Some of them.
So that's why they're getting clarity around it. So
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Because, the joy of rugby is that we simplified the law book almost a decade ago, and in so doing cut out a whole bunch of stuff.
Inverted commas, by the way.
Inverted commas,
Simplify.
So it went from, sort of 210 pages to 140, something like that. But the law of unintended consequence is the most powerful of all the laws, as we often say. Because stuff got cut out, it changed the implication of some of the other things. So we ended up with all these anomalous areas. So problematic. So there's been a lot of work to tidy this up. So well done to everyone involved with that. So we'll start with the big one, because this is one that has caused so much angst over the years, and this is the in-goal restarts.
Yes.
So
there you go.
Anyone who's been
in
refereeing,
15s.
yes, where we play try line dropouts, and I'd just like to emphasise they are now called try line dropouts, not goal line dropouts. That nomenclature changed recently, so just for the sake of consistency, we still hear people say goal line dropouts, but technically it's a try line dropout. And if you recall, as this came in, there were some clunks along the way, but we settled on a table that was generated by one of the match officials in the UK and modified by USA Rugby. Shout out to Jamie McGregor. And that was sort of the go-to, because it spelled out in a ready reckoner what to do. Now, the disadvantage of that was because it was so complicated, you couldn't carry that onto the field, and occasionally you'd have a
I'm gonna
moment where you
do
go, "Oh, which one is it?"
it.
And forever squads are clipping up. "Oh, here's a clip. Oh, what's the answer?
Yeah,
Oh,"
what's the answer? Yeah.
etc. So that has now been tidied up. So in simple terms, a ball charged down by the attack and the ball goes dead is now a try line dropout. It was a 22. A ball carried in by the attack and forced into touch and goal is now a try line dropout. It was also a 22. So it should just get a lot easier. 22 dropouts will become much rarer.
Mhm.
They'll basically be from missed field goals and penalty goals or a kick that's gone dead with an option of that or a scrum. Pretty much everything else will go into the mechanism for try line dropout or 5-metre scrum.
Mhm.
So that's a good one because that did cause confusion. And I remember talking to one of our super panel earlier in the year. And they had a situation where they just looked at it and went, well, it could be this, it could be that. It's hard to say. We don't know because it's not written down anywhere. So we're guessing, and no one was losing their shit over it because it was inconsequential, but it wasn't clear. So great clarity there.
Great.
There's some other things I quite liked. There's an explicit addition to the foul play law to make it clear that pushing a teammate with or without the ball is a penalty offence.
Yeah,
Now,
that's a good one. You see that when people are either chasing to get a ball or yeah, I see that in community
well,
sometimes.
yeah, it's one of those ones that you think, what's that all about? Well, for example, that covers pushing one of your teammates across the line of touch in a line, like throwing them up in the line out. For
I see what you
example,
mean.
yeah, propelling a teammate with the ball into contact, players being thrown, in open play. So throwing one of your teammates.
Yeah, yeah. There's also like a
So,
safety aspect all around that as well. You have that in lineouts as well. You need to just make sure that the person's being actually grabbed by the thighs and the shorts as well. You can't just be chucking and throwing people
well,
around.
yes, there's that as well. And this, obstruction's another way that this gets used and abused. So it's good to have it in law. Tackle height in the community games changed to waist or base of sternum, depending on
Yeah.
which union you're in, because there's a couple of different heights. 10.1. So this is a really good housekeeping one. I think a lot of people will like this because there's always been debate. Well, how do you tell when someone's offside?
Which is, yeah, player offside in open play, which is 10, right?
Yeah, 10.1. So
10's offside.
the foot kicking the ball determines the offside line. So we've got clarity around that now. So I think that's really important as well. And a community game probably won't change much because we don't have the benefit of replays. You got to call it in live, but that'll have an impact at the elite level where you got a TMO or ARs on comms, etc. So that's a good one.
The foot kicking the ball determines the offside line. So if
Yes.
someone's kicked it,
So previously,
maybe
well,
I'm
how do you tell if
overthinking
they're
this.
offside? Is it the arm of the player kicking the ball? Is it their head? Is it their chest, like in athletics? You break the line with your chest to
Oh, I see what
trigger
you
the
mean. If you
timer.
had like that invisible line on where
Yeah,
the body
yeah.
position is. So it's that foot. Yeah.
So when the foot kicks the ball, that creates your
Mhm.
line, the offside line. So
Got it. Okay.
we've got a definition
But
for it,
like, okay,
right?
we're just around it. Yeah.
Another one similar to that, a housekeeping one, which I know so many referees are going to love. And this is the
Oh,
player throwing
juicy.
a line out, stands on the mark of touch with both feet on or behind the touchline.
Holler.
So that,
I see this every weekend,
yep,
all the time. I continually tell them to step back. They don't listen. And then the referees, like, this is me as an AR. And there's so much
yep,
happening in the line out.
yep.
This is a great one. And I know some particular hookers need to work on their throws if they can't just get that little line.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. I know every inch counts, but you need to work better on your throws if you can't do it from behind the line.
So at the end of the day, this isn't going to break the bank, but it's just some housekeeping to put in law so that
What's the
it can be
sanction then?
managed. A whack
Surely it
across the
should
arse
be
with the
if
flag from the AR.
hmm,
Yeah, maybe we can't do that, but it's just, come on, guys. Look, the law says.
So
Because the
yeah,
law
let's manage
previously
it.
it was a bit of pay. Yeah, manage it. Yeah, it's not a
Manage
gotcha
it at
moment.
maybe it's a free kick. I don't know.
It's yeah,
Most
it's
things, even like, isn't the fake one?
the balk.
There's yeah,
The balk's a free kick. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. I was trying to think of scenarios where like that's a pretty hard penalty one. No,
Let me be clear. We don't want to be sanctioning this.
that's what I mean.
Yeah,
But what
no,
is it?
no. We want to be managing it, and it's just a little piece of
If you're, yeah,
housekeeping.
yeah, and if they're taking the piss and
Yeah, that's
not
right. And
listening, yeah,
because it's opaque in the law book, people go, "Oh, but yeah, I've got part of my
blah blah
heel on
blah.
the line." It's like, right, here's the answer, right?
Yeah,
So that's a good one. In that same space, there's a little clarity around the ball not reaching the 5 metre line. There was some ambiguity about the sanction there, so they've been tidied up depending on whether it's a dud throw or it's being received by the player coming forward in front of the 5 metre line. Probably the most interesting one is 10-4C, which we've talked about a lot, and BC and I have endless debates about this with good reason because of the way it's worded.
oh, the charge down.
The charge down and the definition of a charge down. So,
Oh, it's too
and
bad Piercy isn't here for you guys to talk
I
about this.
know, I know, I know. He'll be kicking himself for missing this one. This is right up his
You
alley.
should just send him a screenshot of this while he's sat at home.
But this is one that we prefaced a little while ago because we had an inkling this was coming, because it's an obvious way to tidy it up. So 10-4C, the 10-metre law does not apply when the kick is charged down or is touched in an attempted charge down. So at the moment, a charge down is essentially a knock forward when you're trying to stop the kick.
Yeah.
But it had to be a knock forward. If you touched it and it didn't go forward and went behind, then you didn't have the benefit of 10-4C. So
Yeah,
therefore,
and then people just yell out, "It's been touched."
absolutely. And
Yeah.
even at the elite level of the game, it was sort of swept under the carpet and ignored because no one wanted to make that call. Now, if it's an attempted charge down, so it
Mm.
clips the top of your fingers and keeps traveling, so it doesn't go forward, we're in the same space. So it's just tidied up a little bit of a convention that a lot of people played anyway. I mean, it reminds me a little bit of the not straight line out. There's a bunch of referees who previously would, if the throw was okay, it wasn't perfect, but it was okay enough, and the other team didn't throw a jumper up, they just could play on anyway.
Yeah. That was one of Piercy's long-term trials that he did in a closed
Yes.
environment
Yes.
in Central
Yeah.
West.
Yeah. Yeah. The Nathan Pearce closed trial. Well, he had it in ARC or NRC, I think, way back when, and just didn't stop doing it.
Yeah. Also, with that, as a reminder, I always felt like just keep that big gap. It makes it so much easier. What about the non-straight? If you have a nice, good gap, and it's more beneficial for the attacking team. I think that's always useful.
Yeah, so absolutely, manage the gap. I think that's a great tip. It gives you lots of benefits on that. I noticed that elite level, they're trying to bring the gap in a little bit if the teams are too far apart. I think at community, a bigger gap's better than a smaller gap,
Yeah.
because that gives benefits in so many different ways. It's easier to see what the throw's doing. It's easier to see mischief. You don't have guys bumping into each other. So lots to like there. They're the main ones.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of other stuff as well.
Is it?
There's pages and pages of it. Absolutely.
Keith has been
But it's
busy.
all, Keith has been very busy. He's got writer's cramp, and well done to him and the team behind this. It's a really stellar effort. I look forward to seeing it in the full law version when it comes out. And it just tidies up so much stuff.
Yeah.
And we'll find more and more of that stuff as we work our way through. But for the sake of today, they're the big ticket items.
Yeah, those big ones. No, those are good.
And the only other thing I would add to that is and we'll see that again this weekend in the Nations tournaments, is the maul law clarification that was brought in recently around the players coming around the edge of the maul and managing them out. So that will be in play as well. So that's about tidying up the housekeeping around the maul and the shifty player who comes around the side. And I think, as we've said on the pod previously, I think a lot of refs do that anyway,
Yeah.
even if it's not written in law. But we're going to see that managed harder
Okay.
this weekend, which I think will be good because
Yeah, that'll be good.
got lots of moving parts, and that will just take out some of the greyness in it. Coincidentally, tonight our education night is line out to mall, and we're going to do some
Yes, it
live stuff on
is.
field around that. So
Woo!
it'll be interesting to see how
Oh,
that's
live
covered.
stuff. I need to make sure I bring enough warm sweater and
Yes,
a
tip of the
beanie,
day.
maybe.
Although it's meant to be 23 to go today in Sydney, that's winter.
Oh,
So yeah, PC will be
what?
sitting and he'll have some thoughts around that. So.
hmm We'll be complaining still somehow.
So that's an update on what's happening in the laws of our land, and stay tuned for formal missives as they come out, because I'm sure they'll be
hmm
coming out in the next couple of days globally, and then some of the stuff at local level will trickle out
Yeah.
over the next month or two or longer, depending on how it's rolled out here. But it's worth knowing because we've got international tournaments happening around us.
hmm
So there you go.
Well done. Thanks, Rob.
Whew.
Was the says BaaBaas refereeing?
Well, there's
Was
a
there
couple of
games
things.
past weekend?
Yeah, so firstly, lightning doesn't strike twice. Well,
There was the women's and men's. Yeah,
it does strike
BaaBaas.
twice. Lightning struck twice because in the top 14 final between Toulouse and Montpellier, they had an interruption in the match due to a storm.
Ah,
So I think it was, early midway through the second half. They had a long hiatus while they waited for a storm to clear. And then over in the under-20s in Georgia, and it may well have been the same storm because
yeah.
that's just up the road and around the corner, the Japan New Zealand game got abandoned essentially. So they finished well before time. So because it was the second half, the result stood. But yeah, they had a major storm there on top of everything else that was happening in that game. So
Yeah, there's we've experienced that here in Sydney before.
we sure
And
have.
yeah, you need to it's like the amount of miles radius of where the storm is coming. So yeah, make sure you keep a good weather app
The
to understand what's
30-30
happening.
rule. 30 seconds,
30 seconds?
30
30
minutes.
minutes? Yeah.
Yes. So be aware. So we had a tournament at the start of the year. We're in the sevens. It's getting squeaky bum tight in the final game. It's like, oh, hurry up. We can get 2 more minutes of footy in. We can finish the tournament before we hit the 30 seconds, 30-minute rule. And we just got there in time. So yeah. BaaBaas. Yes, there were 2 men's BaaBaas games in recent weeks, and I think 1 women's game.
hmm
I've seen snippets of the men's. I haven't seen the women's game. A couple of Aussies featured. M. Chancellor was playing, Laurie Kramer. So shout out to the girls. But what I did notice was the difference in style between the refereeing. So the first week was the BaaBaas in South Africa against South Africa, and the second week it was in England against Wales.
hmm
And I've got to say, the second match was much easier to watch. The first match had 3 yellow cards in the first half. It's like,
Jesus. What did they
that's,
do?
and they're all yellows that you could not give,
Yeah. I see
and
what
it's a
you mean.
BaaBaas game.
Like,
I'm like, really?
yeah, like
Yeah.
penalty, have a word,
Well,
spirit of the game. I haven't watched it, to be honest.
just like one of them was a 50-50. Well, make it a penalty. They scored a try anyway, so you don't need it. Another one, I can't remember what it was now, but it was like, play away. Oh yeah, it was a tackle and not rolling. It's like, oh, come on.
Oh. Mhm.
Yeah, it's BaaBaas footy.
I'm
Just
sure they've all drank enough beforehand. That's probably
oh,
why they're not rolling.
yeah. Well, they're rolling, but not for the right reason. Yeah. And then there was another 50-50 knock, deliberate knock for. It's like, oh, yeah, but let's just give them a quick tap and let them go score anyway. Whereas the second game, the Wales game, I thought that flowed much
More
much
enjoyment
better.
from like
Yeah.
players and people watching.
Yeah. Absolutely.
What
So
does the game need, Rob? That is the question we should ask ourselves as referees. What does the
spot
game
on,
need?
Candace. What does the game need? That is exactly right. Did the game need those cards? I don't think so. No. So lessons for everyone at all levels, all the time. We never stop learning. A quick stat central.
Yes.
And PC will love this. It's another cricket one. So it's a century.
100.
100. So what, who, why, when? So 100 shoot shield games.
Ooh.
Come on down, Angus Gardner.
Yay. That's so exciting.
Yes, he's managed to sneak in a shoot shield game this weekend before he chuffs off to
Cheeky.
Cheeky. and he has Gordon Eastwood. Now, I don't know if you've been following the Gordon Eastwood saga, Candace, but for those who don't know, a whole bunch of Eastwood players from last year left and went to Gordon
Oh,
because they were very
drama.
unhappy with their time at Eastwood. And I remember saying, "Oh, I can't wait to see who gets to referee the match between Gordon and Eastwood." And here we are. It's
There we
Gussie's
go.
100th. So that should be fun. That should because there's not enough good rugby to watch this weekend. If you happen to have a spare hour
Watch the
somewhere in
highlights.
your weekend, have a look at this because this should be a doozy because it's going to be on. And I couldn't think of a better person to have
Oh.
in the middle. So
What does
so
Gus
well done,
get for his
Gussie.
100th? Does he get a special coin, or does he get a special? Is there a shield whistle that they can give him,
There's usually some sort of acknowledgement, yes.
or a
And it's
referee
a
shield?
a cup. Uh, it's fairly rarefied air, 100 shoot shield games. There's not many people in that category. It's a dozen or so.
Yeah. Well deserved. Yeah. That'll be a really exciting match to watch.
Absolutely. So we have some appointments, and before I get onto
Appointments.
this, I've got to dip my lid to World Rugby. So the under-20s, they've done a really good job of preparing everyone, media guides. They've got pronunciation guides for the teams. They've got audio files, etc.
Wow, so good.
And I wrote back to them and said, "That's fantastic. Do you reckon you could do something similar for the match officials? Because we work really hard trying to get that right as well." And they went, "Well, leave it with me." So they've come back, they've sent individual voice files of the referees saying their own name.
Oh, is it? I love it.
I love it too.
Is it like in FIFA? They do this in soccer, I swear, or something like that.
And look, most commentators do their homework and get some of them lay out a phonetic guide, so they've got the pronunciation in front of them, so that
Ah,
when Fakatava gets the ball, they know how to say the name correctly.
yeah.
And it's spelled out in syllables, etc. Everyone's got their own little system for doing it. Yeah, some people do it orally, some people do it visually, etc. Anyway, so they sent me all the audio files, which is great, but they're not labeled, so
Oh.
they're all the same. So I thought, oh well, I'll just start listening to them. So I opened the first one, Luke Rogan. It's like, okay, which made me laugh because obviously we've talked about Luke before. He's one of our locals, so yeah. No, I opened the second one, Ruben Keane. It's like, oh, this is so funny. And then we got into the tougher ones, which is the ones I was asking for, which is the ones I really needed. But that did make me laugh. I think one of the family members walked past when we had Luke Rogan come out, and it's like, "What are you doing, Dad?" To say, "Yeah, well, yeah." Anyway, so well done, World Rugby. Good to have the match official
Well done, World
pronunciations as
Rugby.
well. Which segues nicely into the appointments for this weekend. And this will take a while because there's a bit going on.
Mhm.
So there's actually a women's test this weekend as well. South Africa playing the US in Joburg. So that's all local appointments. So Zoe Nord's got that one. Then
South African? Is that right?
yeah. So
Yeah.
it's an all South African match official team. Then we go to Nations Championship,
Mhm.
and in no particular order, Australia Ireland. So we saw some of these people yesterday. So Ben O'Keefe, Carl Dixon, Andrea Piatti. They're the team of three, Matteo Liparini and Glenn Newman. So they're the big five for us this weekend locally
Mhm.
here. New Zealand, France. This will be
Ooh.
a doozy. Luke Pearce is in the middle for that, so really pleased for Luke. The kid,
Yay!
Christoph Ridley is AR1. Katsuki Furuse is AR2. Marius van der Westhuizen and Ben Whitehouse are on the screens. South Africa, England, James Dolman, Andrew Brace, Pierre Brousset, Richard Kelly, and Ollie Hodges. The latter notionally Irish, but has Australian heritage. So Argentina, Scotland, Nika Amisha Kelly, Paul Williams, Geordie Way, Brett Cronin, and Eric Gazon. Japan, Italy. So Nick Berry, Luke Ramos, Sam Grove White, Ian Tempest, and Andrew Jackson. And rounding out the weekend, Fiji, Wales, Owen Cross,
Ooh.
Matt Carley, Holly Davidson, Leo
Yay!
Colgan, and Mike Adamson. So that's Nations Championship.
Very good.
Now we move to Nations Cup,
Mhm.
USA, Portugal. And this is, I kid you not,
Ooh.
this is being held at the Dick's Sporting Goods
Oh, no.
Park
Oh,
in
lovely.
Denver.
Mhm.
Make of that what you will. So many lines. I'm not touching that one.
Mhm.
So Jean-Luc Anecki, Jeremy Rosier, and Robin Kaluzniak with Adam Jones handling that. Tonga, Zimbabwe, which is also at Dick's.
Dick has big stadium. Lots of games happening.
Biggest Dickus. Ben Breakspear, Jeremy Rosier, Robin Kaluzniak, and Adam Jones. So that's a double header.
Oh,
In
no.
more
We're
ways
getting
than
in
one.
there.
Canada, Spain, Thomas,
Oh,
but that's Mike Lawrence and Derek Summers, who I think was here last year, and Dan Jones. Samoa against Hong Kong, China. Angus Maybe.
hey.
Juan Manuel Martinez, who's Uruguayan. Kawa Ricardo, who I think is Brazilian. And Tual Tranini from France. Then Chile, Romania. So these two, these are paired up as well. These are both in Santiago. Damien Schneider, who we saw last year here.
Mhm.
Juan Manuel Martinez again. Kawa Ricardo and Tual Tranini. Then Uruguay, Georgia. This is in Montevideo. Craig Evans, Thomas Ninchi, Federico Longobardi, and Dan Jones. And that's it for the Nations Cup.
Perfect.
And then I think we've got the under-20s. So homework, people, have a think about your favourite law change and tidy up and let us know what you think it should
That's a great
be.
one.
Yeah, answers on a postcard.
Yeah, that would be a great one, guys. So just drop us a message. I think I'm really excited for this weekend and lots to talk about for next week as well. So thank you all for listening. And I hope, Piercy, you get well. Rob, I think you've been good.
Piercy,
thank you for doing most of the work and talking today after my illness.
Yes, Piercy, the note from your mum better be good.
Bye.
Jouer.